You need to let go. That man is siphoning your energy like a leech, and you are letting him, and with a smile too. Have you ever seen those women? They're healthy, beautiful, skin glowing, and then once they get into a relationship, they look a hot mess. I'm talking excessive weight gain, breakouts, constantly feeling tired, never feeling up to going out with friends every now and then. Their entire life suddenly revolves around a man. The transformation is almost demonic, and it is. You are allowing a demon to take you off your path and manipulate your entire life. This doesn't just happen in romantic relationships, but friendships too. And I'm gonna tell you how to walk away so that you can finally feel like yourself again. First, we need to identify the problem. Why are you with him? What are you gaining from this connection? What are they doing for you that you cannot do for yourself? Are you staying because you love him or because you don't want to be alone? Or do you feel that your value decreases if you were single? That you could never find a man that's going to love and accept you for all of your flaws. So you settle thinking, well, it's not going to get better than this. So there's a quote from one of my favorite movies, Perks of Being a Wallflower. And the young man asks, why do nice people date the wrong people? The answer was, because we accept the love we think we deserve. And notice when we see these transformations in women, it goes to show how low some of them think of themselves. You couldn't possibly dream of having better. That real love is a fairy tale. So instead of settling for a prince, you settle for a commoner, a peasant of sorts. And that may come off as mean, but it's not when that man is the very thing holding you back from becoming a woman that you can feel most proud of. Sometimes it helps to look in the mirror when the reflection looking back is not you. So I'm going to share a little mini story about this woman. We'll call her Sharon. Sharon was beautiful, extroverted, kind to all who knew her name. One night, she's out at a restaurant with a couple of her friends, and she makes eye contact with a man dressed in a suit and tie. This man is in every way Sharon's type. Black hair, blue eyes, even the way he talks exudes class and money. Sharon made eye contact with him a few times, and this gives him the confidence to approach her. He gives her compliments, asks her questions about her life, and they even share a few things in common. This man presents himself to be a businessman, a man who's serious but knows when to have fun. He's funny and charming but can be cutthroat. She shares her number and he leaves. Her friends are kind of looking at her crazy. Not because there was anything on her face, because they felt an energy about him that Sharon didn't pick up on. Well, Sharon and this man begin to text every day, FaceTiming every night. He pays on dates, he opens doors, thinks of her before himself. Behaves like a true gentleman. Sharon is thinking, thank God I didn't listen to my friends. This man is everything I've ever wanted. It's not long until they become official. After a few months, she notices a change. He doesn't dress in suits anymore, mostly casual clothes. He moves in with her after he lost his job. And because that's her man, Sharon said, no, baby, I'm going to be right here with you. He also apparently got into a car accident, so he uses her car, drops her off at work, and picks her up when she's off. He doesn't buy her flowers anymore. He doesn't even pay on dates anymore. In fact, they barely go on dates. He doesn't open the door and treats her almost like she'll never leave. During all of this, Sharon's light starts to dim. He doesn't let her go out with her friends because he doesn't trust other men or her friends. They get into arguments a lot. So, despite Sharon working full time, she spends most of her free time trying to make it up to him. A few months in, she's putting on pounds, and her friends have somewhat abandoned her, and her self-worth has taken a hit. Her brother who notices the shift is telling her to leave him. But she makes up excuses. No relationship is perfect. He loves me. We've already been together for so long. She was so focused on the future, the potential, rather than the facts of the present moment. One night, after 2 years, by the way, she finally builds up the courage to go through the man's phone. And on this phone is some devastating information. She finds out he never had a car, it was a rental, never had a house, he lived with his mom, never had a job, his mother was supporting him. He wore suits because he was getting into trade, but he didn't commit and ended up losing thousands of dollars worth of loans. He was talking to other women. Some were even giving him money. He was actually taking her car to go see a lot of those women. She locked herself in the bathroom and cried. Those tears soon turned to anger when she realized that this man, the man that she gave up her entire life for, lied and manipulated her to get what he wanted. But then she decided, no more. I will show him who the real fool is. Sharon remembers that her lease is up in a month, so she decides to play dumb, let him think nothing was wrong while she looks for a new condo. When everything is in place, she convinces him to visit his mother. Once she drops him off, she heads back to the apartment to help the movers load the truck. She even had the movers pack all his stuff, which wasn't much. She was able to clean out the old apartment and move into the new one all in one day. She drives back to his mother's house and drops off all his belongings at the front door, rings the doorbell, and then drives off before anyone can answer. She blocked him on everything, though he resorted to using fake numbers to contact her. He never got through to her. Sharon was able to get in contact with her friends and apologize and rekindle what was lost. They fortunately forgave her and even threw her a housewarming party. Slowly but surely, she started to get the light back in her eyes again. You see, most women end up in these situations because they allow themselves to be fooled by the mask. The mask is not always obvious. Like prosthetic makeup, you can hardly tell if it's real. And you believe it's real anyway because you think, oh well, why would they lie? Men like this think they're on top of the world when they're able to take a beautiful, strong, independent woman and dominate her. Though the signs are visible, they are still easy to miss. So I'll share 10 of them in hopes it'll save you before it's too late. Number 1, pay attention to a story. They are bound to slip up eventually when lying about a life they do not live. Most of them do not or cannot keep up with their lies. Like if their job title changes every time you ask. If their timelines are inconsistent. When he says, oh, I worked there 5 years, but then later says 2. Or he avoids specifics when you ask normal follow-up questions. Number 2, he flirts a lot, but it feels surface level. He wants you to believe that he has money and status more than actually showing you a stable life. They show off cars, money, brands, but still complain about basic expenses. Real wealth or success usually doesn't need constant advertisement. Number 3, he love bombs early. This gets a lot of women because they think, oh, he really likes me, or they have a low self-esteem and are lonely, so they jump to the first guy that shows them affection. So over-the-top charm and intensity in the beginning is a big no. When he says things like, I've never felt like this before, but it's been days, and he probably hasn't even taken you out on a date yet. He'll make big promises early, like trips, future plans, commitment. He'll push emotional closeness too fast. This is often used to hook you before you notice any inconsistencies. Number 4, he avoids truly being known. He'll seem open, but only on his terms, like dodging direct questions with jokes or charm. He'll keep conversations focused on you instead. Or you know how he wants to be seen, but not how he actually is. That's what they call curated vulnerability, not real transparency. Number 5, his dominance feels like control. He presents himself as confident, but it crosses into controlling behavior. Like telling you what to wear, do, or think, or when he gets irritated when you don't agree with him on something. He'll try to frame control as I care about you. Number 6, and this is the big one. This one is so obvious, and I hate this one the most. Where they have a victim narrative of all their exes. Everyone before you was crazy, toxic, or used him. So if there's zero accountability in past relationships, or you find the same pattern, he'll give you subtle warnings like, don't be like them. This can signal narcissistic or manipulative tendencies. Run, and run very fast. Number 7, he disappears or is inconsistent, which kind of relates to number 1 or 2, where his behavior doesn't match his words. He'll give intense attention but sudden silence. Inconsistent behavior often hides double lives or lack of stability. Number 8, he pressures you for trust before fully earning it. He wants loyalty quickly before proving himself. He'll get defensive when you ask reasonable questions or try to guilt trip you for setting boundaries. Trust is something that should be grown naturally, not demanded. Number 9, you often feel confused more than secure. In these moments, your intuition keeps getting triggered, so you'll find yourself second guessing a lot. Things will feel off, but you can't exactly prove why. You feel anxious instead of grounded after talking to him. Understand that confusion is often a byproduct of manipulation. Number 10, his actions don't match his identity. He claims to be one thing but behaves like another. Says he's successful but borrows money or avoids pain. Says he's loyal but flirts heavily or hides his phone. Says he's respectful but dismisses your feelings. Patterns of behavior always tell the truth over words. A man pretending to be something that he's not usually relies on image, how he wants to be seen, speed, rushing connections so you don't question things, and control, limiting your ability to see the full picture. The strongest protection against fake personas isn't detective skills. It's self-worth. When those are solid, a lot of these guys disqualify themselves early on. You set the rules, you set the standard, not him. And if he can't follow them, walk him to the door and lock it after him. Self-worth isn't thinking that you're better than everyone or someone's expecting perfection. It's knowing what you will and will not tolerate and being okay walking away, no matter how much you like someone, and not needing someone to prove your value to yourself. It shows up in decisions, not just feelings. Having low self-worth makes you extremely vulnerable because men tend to look for women who ignore early discomfort. So in conclusion, the simplest ways to elevate your self-worth is to build a life that doesn't revolve around dating. Your friendships, your career, hobbies, having a sense of identity and values that you stand by really puts you in a better place mentally when it comes to who you are outside of a relationship and the reality of being alone versus sharing your life with a partner. So relationships should add value, not decrease it. Stop trying to earn his treatment. So instead of thinking, does he like me? Start asking, do I like how he shows up in my life? I hope you were able to leave with something today. As always, like, comment, and subscribe for similar content, and I'll anticipate your return.